The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
You really want to know who's on the radio? Come on. Let's talk about it.
Jeffrey. Let's talk about it live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make. Saturdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. Call or text in live 478-569-6474. Hashtag Let's Talk with Jeffrey. Check us out on www.instinctradio.net or download the Instinct Radio app in your Apple or your Google Play Store.
Let's give them something to talk about.
It's almost showtime, people. Let's tune in to see what Jeffrey has in store for us tonight. And here's your host, Jeffrey L. Miller.
What's going on, Instinct Radio? What's going on, Facebook family, Instagram family? What's going on? It's time for Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Every Saturday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. This is exactly how we do it. Now, listen, I need you to know from the jump that this will not be a show that you want to share with your children. We're about to get real up in this piece tonight.
Let's talk about it.
Real. We have the brother Sean Gunby. Talk to us, brother. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeff. What's up, man? What's going on?
All right, now I want everybody to know, first of all, this is one of my brown-eyed brothers.
That's right.
You know, nothing like that purple blood.
All day.
So y'all just get ready.
All day.
Here's the phone number, 478-569-6474, 478-569-6474. You can call or text that number. Now, of course, you're going to have your comments on Facebook. Make sure you leave us the comments, and if you got questions, call us directly, but we're about to get into this. Now, first of all, my brother Sean has traveled a great distance. I met him earlier for his book signing. We broke bread. We talked a little bit and everything, caught up just a little bit. But, folks, you know what time it is. It's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions. I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman. And I got one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single. But before we get to that, here is my disclaimer. Now, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you. If it doesn't apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them because you're about to learn something tonight. Ladies, you are first. Ladies, you might be single because you're still looking back on past relationships. I need you to feel me, ladies. You still looking back, so you can't be going forward. You still stuck on that guy that broke your heart and you refuse to do the work to make that pain go away. Matter of fact, you haven't even forgiven that brother. Forgiveness isn't for him, it's for you. So when you meet another man, a man that's willing to invest the right type of energy and time into you, you're blocking your blessing because the space that he could occupy is still being occupied with the pain from that past relationship. Let it go, sisters. Let it go. Because the minute you let that pain go, you're freeing yourself from that relationship. And until you free yourself from that relationship, no man can replace that old pain. The longer you hold on to that relationship, the longer you make love to that relationship and become one with that relationship, that's that past pain relationship, the less likely you are to have a fruitful present relationship. And your ass is going to remain single. Brother Sean, what do you think?
Hey, man.
Talk right into the mic.
Okay, listen, man. First of all, I want to thank you for having me on the show, Jeff.
Not a problem at all, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Good deal.
I watch your show for the last probably about 2 months.
Good deal.
And I enjoy it. As far as, the past, man, you got it. The past is dead, man. It's over. The past, the past is dead, man.
Dead and done.
It's time to move on.
Absolutely. Now, brothers, I need you to understand something. I'm not letting you off the hook, brothers. You are next. Brothers, you might be single because you are emotionally lazy. Emotionally lazy. This is what I mean. You'll meet a nice young lady and you'll tell her from the jump that I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not looking to be serious. But you will do all of the relationship stuff. All of it. You check in. You go by, you send her nice gifts, you lay that wood down, like y'all in a relationship. You do all the relationship stuff, but as soon as she starts to develop feelings and starts to expect more from the relationship, you remind her, hey, I told you in the beginning, I wasn't looking for a relationship. That is emotional robbery. Emotional robbery. And once that woman discovers that you playing games, she's not going to deal with that, and she won't deal with it much longer. And once she stops dealing with it, well, she's going to leave you and those games you playing single. Brother Sean, what do you think?
They pump faking, man.
Say it again.
They pump faking.
Break it down for him. What do you mean when you say they pump faking?
Listen, man, you know, for me, I can't speak on no other brother, man, but like for me, at this stage of the game, if I'm gonna entertain a woman, you understand?
Yep.
Then I'm going in, man. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not playing, man. You know, what do I get out of it from playing? You know?
Absolutely.
So that's pretty much where I'm at with it.
Absolutely. Good deal. Good deal. All right, now listen. Now this show is pretty much unscripted. We got a lot of topics we might introduce, but then we're just gonna sit back and we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna give you the real feeling. Now let's talk about our alma mater, Morris Brown College. When did you first enroll in Morris Brown College?
Jeff, first of all, I want to let the people know how me and you met. I remember you, to all of Jeff's followers, listeners. I used to see you on campus, and we never spoke, but I used to see you in passing.
Yep.
But I want to say this here to you, man. Whenever I saw you, because how I got here is, you know, I wrote this book, and Alice, you know Alice, right? Alice Kimbrough from Florida. She went on she got a copy of the book. She did a selfie of the book and posted it on the Morris Brown alumni Facebook page. And said something to the effect of, come on, y'all, let's support one of our own, a Brown Knight. He just wrote a book, Astigmatism in My Soul, support the book. Right after that, Kawana, you know who I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
See, these names I'm saying,
Absolutely.
These people, I ain't even got to say their last name.
You don't.
Kawana goes on Facebook and says something to the effect of, that's Sean, that was my boy from back in the day, a cool dude. Then Shanita comes and says, oh my God, Shanita, another person, Shanita comes, she puts on a post, these three people, you understand, are the reason why I'm here, man. Shout out to Alice, shout out to Kawana, shout out to Shanita.
Absolutely.
And then Shanita says, was showing you, do you know Jeff? You need to go on Jeff's show. And I said, Jeff, who? I don't know no Jeff Miller. Who Jeff? And then I said, well, give me his information. I'll text him and see what was up. Then she sent me a picture of your Facebook page. And when I saw you, it didn't shock me that you are doing what you're doing, and I congratulate you, man, and I'm proud of you for doing what you're doing. Because what I remember you from school, you was always that dude. Whenever I saw you, you always seemed to be, whenever you walked, you had a destination. You had somewhere to go. So when I saw you, and I said, damn, this brother got his own radio. It didn't shock or amaze me because I figured, that you were capable of doing something like this.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's real.
All right, good deal.
The first time we met was just at the book signing I did at Wings on Wheat. Shout out to Marshall and Ben at Wings on Wheat, Stone Mountain. Go get some wings, 1900 Rockbridge Road. I got the Morris Brown in 87, man.
All right.
And, I love Morris Brown.
Absolutely.
You understand? And even after I graduated from Morris Brown in 93, I moved back to Jersey and I stayed active with the alumni chapter, the tri-state chapter, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Got it.
You understand? I was down with, I was involved with George Hopkins, Rosa Dupree.
Absolutely.
Mac Duncan. You understand?
Yes.
Very involved, even as an alumni post-graduation.
Sure.
You understand? So I wanted to throw that out there for the people to clarify that I'm not just coming in, speaking on something that I don't know.
Good deal.
I went to Morris Brown, my degree's from Morris Brown. I love Morris Brown, and I've always been active in Morris Brown.
Absolutely. Good deal. Good deal. All right, now listen, folks, we're going to get into it a little bit. But before we do, let's talk a little bit about the book, Astigmatism in My Soul. Now, we got a video we're going to show, just a little snippet from it on YouTube that I found. But what we're going to do is talk a little bit about the book. Tell me what inspired you to start writing the book.
Jeff, man, it was so many things that prompted me to write this book. As you know from the book, I was a successful business person. I lost a $1.2 million net worth through the fault of my own, went to federal prison, and I crashed and burned, essentially. And, my case, I had a tax practice. I had over 1,300 clients in 17 different states. I was pretty well known. I was a real estate broker. And when all of this went down, different newspapers, the Google, if you Google my name, my case comes up. And all of these people who I never met, that never met me, wrote all of these articles about me, you understand, from a position as if they knew me, and they never knew me. Now, I pled guilty to fraud. I was getting people back bigger refunds than what I was supposed to, which is wrong. I was cold-blooded wrong.
Yes.
Take full responsibility for that. But it didn't give them, in my opinion, for me, it didn't give them the right, what they wrote about me without knowing me. But that's what they do.
Understood.
You understand?
Yes.
So I had to, and I have a little son, man, who's got the same name as me. You understand?
Yes.
And I felt that it was important for me to get control of the narrative and for me to tell my story exactly the way it went down so you can hear it from me. Because there was a lot of rumors, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And with this book, if you read it, you understand, everything is in there. All of my paperwork is in there. All of the case, everything is in there. My God, everything, my sentencing paperwork. And I even go into details about my life. You understand?
Sure.
I lay it all out.
Understood.
So
yes.
This way, nobody can jump out of the bush or come from behind a tree and say, I got you, well, what about this? Because I knew that I was going to make a comeback.
Right, absolutely.
What happened to me, man? Because you can't hold me down.
Understood.
So I knew that the people that hated me, that contributed in, cooperating against me to help bring me down, even though I put myself in a position for that to happen, my fault, you understand? But people did some things to me I never would have did to them. But I knew that when my comeback was coming back, that if anybody had anything to jump out and say, I got you, you know what I'm saying, that they would. So I'll tell my story. I'll tell it in full. I'll tell it complete, and I'm proud of it, and that's what it is. And that was, and then my son, his name is Sean Xavier Gunby Jr. too. You understand?
Yes.
So, you Google my name. Before I went to prison, all of this stuff came up while I was in prison, the whole page.
Okay.
But now you Google my name, my book comes up, Amazon.com comes up, YouTube. See, I'm taking control
Fair enough.
of the narrative, man. Yeah,
that's
what
powerful.
it is.
That's powerful. Here's what we'll do. We'll play this video from YouTube, and this is just a montage of Astigmatism in My Soul. Then we'll come back and we'll talk more about the book. Let's go ahead and roll clip number 1. Here we go.
Ride like, get dough like, get chicks like, ride whips like, make moves like, got style like, I dress like, niggas know I rhyme like, get dough like, get chicks like, ride whips like, make moves like, got style like, I dress like, niggas know I'm like a. Yo, I shine so bright, I don't know what it is, guess the words I write. Maybe some swag, or the way I took my hat off, the way I look when I step out the Jag. Damn, so fresh, cause I'm the best. I see you hating, but I could care less. Dude, you don't know me, I shut down labels. Ask my fans, they see me on cable. Young Denzel, the next LL. With a little Twisted J and Big Pun, I'm so ill. $1 million man with $1 million deals. Not gonna say I run New Jersey, but I will. Welcome to the future. 6 months later, 6 million fans, 6 more haters. Some gift and a curse of being the greatest. I'm a star, I did it. You still chase like get dough like get chicks like ride whips like make moves like got style like I trust like niggas know I rhyme like get dough like get chicks like ride whips like make moves like got style like I trust like niggas know I'm watching my moves, I'll show you how to grind, show you how to rhyme in a different state of mind. I breathe different, but the air's the same. I'm on that G6 jet, you on a different plane. It's hip-hop music, iTunes hustler. I push MP3s to all my customers. Feel good music that makes them feel real great. You be killing since my first mixtape, but we all grown up now, grown up money. It's life, die before you take this from me. Started from nothing, built a
Good stuff. Good stuff. I love it. All right. So now listen, let me ask you this question. Now, in controlling your own narrative, I noticed that your energy level popped up a little bit. Tell us why you felt like that was just so important, not necessarily just for you, but for your son. Talk to us about that a little bit more.
Man, Jeff, man, with the shit I went through, with what I put myself through.
Fair enough.
Keep it on me, man.
Fair enough.
A lot of dudes commit suicide going through federal investigations, man. My case was a Fed case.
Okay.
And people that were close to me, some people that weren't close to me, were saying shit about me that wasn't true. They didn't have the facts. They just gossiping. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, so suppose this, hypothetically, right? Suppose I have a stroke or lose my mind or I kill myself going through my case, because some people do. Then these people that hated me, right?
Yes.
Because you got haters.
Right.
Make sure my haters can see. My haters, you got my haters?
Yeah,
make sure they can see.
They can see it.
Let them get in the front. I want them to see.
Absolutely.
Then they get to tell my son, your daddy was no good. Look at what he did.
Right.
You know, look at what happened to him. You understand? Even down to his mother.
Right.
You understand?
Understood.
Because that situation got funky too. You know what I'm saying? So now he grows up. I'm not around to straighten it out. He grows up, and people have told him something about me that was erroneous.
Right.
He's read all of this stuff on the internet that's one side from people who never met me.
Sure.
And he grows up feeling less than. You understand what I'm saying?
Understood.
Not knowing the truth. So me as his father, you understand? It was incumbent upon me to straighten that out for him.
Good deal.
You understand?
Absolutely.
And I've been telling Sean the truth since he was 5, since I got out. I've been out 2 years. I've been telling him the truth about everything, man.
Okay.
You understand? Because I don't know what may happen to me tomorrow or the next day. And I think a lot of times, man, you know, especially in black families, we keep these secrets. Ooh, don't tell them that, or don't, and then people find out later on in life, and all it leads to is just a lot of anger and resentment.
Absolutely.
So if something were to happen to me tomorrow or the next day, which it ain't, because I'm going to be here because I got something to do.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Yes.
Because my best days are in front of me.
Good deal.
But if it were to say hypothetically, excuse me, and somebody tried to say, well, your daddy, when this, look and read this, but he could, man, my daddy told me everything, and the paperwork, everything is here in this book. You understand? And my mother got a copy. Everybody that's close to me got a copy of the paperwork so they could show them and say, and see, people, I'm a good person, man.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
You told me, you handcuffed me with a word that I want to say.
I'm with
so
you.
could you tell the people what I can't say? Or
we on this show we don't use the N word.
Right.
So
right,
that's the one word that we don't use on this show.
But I'm a good one.
I believe you.
I'm a good one.
You're a good brother.
All over the planet I'm known. My name is good. You could go to South Africa, Cuba, Brazil, all over New Jersey, all over America, anywhere. Yo, Sean Gunby, yo, that's a good dude. That's important.
Yes.
You understand that people that you have a good name,
Right.
and people tried to destroy my name, man. So it was important upon me to rehabilitate my name, man, if it needed to be rehabilitated, and I thought it did, so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Good deal. Good deal. Now, in taking a good glance at the book in the beginning, I noticed that one thing that you did on purpose. You didn't go through and have a professional editor, no real proofreading and things like that. Tell us why you decided to let the words be exactly as they were when you were writing.
Yo, I wrote that book, man. I started writing the book. Actually, it's 2 books.
Okay.
Volume 2 is live right now on Amazon.com, the Kindle version and the paperback. They just went live about an hour ago. Get them. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Stigmatism in My Soul TV. When I wrote the book, Jeff, as if I was standing on the compound talking to other inmates, just standing around talking. And I wrote the book from my heart and from my soul with no restraint.
Okay.
How could I give that to this young lady or him or to you or to anybody? Here, edit this.
I get it.
Because I didn't write this book to be $1 million bestseller. I didn't want to put no cologne on it, no bow, chocolate sprinkles. Yo, this is it. Deal with it.
Understood. Okay.
Deal with it. And you know what's funny, man? A lot of people, especially the millennials, man, are telling me that they really appreciate the realness of the book, man.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Let's take a few comments from Facebook. All right. Shanita says, emotionally lazy, and I don't come crying back once you realize, and don't come crying back once you realize you have been exposed. Good point. Shermanata, what's going on with you? NBC in the house. All right.
Shermanita.
There we go. Let's see. Shanita says, never was able to hold you down. Sean G. One of the many strong attributes I admire about you, perseverance. Very good, sir. Very good. Let's talk about some topics now. Now, first of all, we know it's a whole lot of stuff going on in this country. A lot of stuff going on. One thing I want to get into is the shooting that happened in Florida, Parkland, Florida, and the way that the young men and women who survived that are standing up and talking right now. And they're standing up to a lot of people. What do you think about these young folk and their energy and the way that they're galvanizing people around gun safety and gun control legislation?
Well, first of all, I want to give my condolences to all of the families of all of the victims of the high school shooting in Parkland, Florida. And I think that it's awesome that these kids, the youth, are taking control of their narrative and speaking up, man, because they were there.
Yeah.
They heard the gunshots. They saw the blood. They saw, and it's awesome, man. You know, you gotta live your life, man. I think people live these safe lives, man. And I think the older you get, like the safer people become. Oh, I don't want no problems. So, come on, man. This is just life, man.
I understand.
And these kids, I give them mad props, man.
Okay.
For speaking out, yeah.
Now I wanna push the issue a little bit on this right here, and I have a video called Black Lives Matter Myths or BLM Myths, where basically the Black Lives Matter movement that had the same youthful energy behind it was almost met with scorn. Like, why are these kids marching? Why are these kids out in the street? Let me ask you this. What do you think the major difference is between the Black Lives Matter youth and these young kids in Parkland, Florida?
I don't know, Jeff, but listen, man. I don't need to go march nowhere or tell anybody that my Black Life Matter or that little Sean's Black Lives Matter. You demonstrate that your life matters with action.
Okay.
You demonstrate that your black life matters through being productive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all this rapping, talking, man, that ain't about nothing, man. Show me that your life matters. You know, and that could be a whole nother show.
Mm-hmm.
Now the difference, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, you trying to you going to say that because this was a white school and most of the kids were white that got shot and the black lives, the brothers, the cops killing. I mean, where you?
I want to know what your thought is. What you believe from looking at the way that Black Lives Matter youth have been treated versus the Parkland survivors.
I haven't really been following the Black Lives Matter because I'm not. It really don't appeal to me because I don't need to parade and show. Like when you see my demeanor, you see my body language.
Right, absolutely.
And you see my production, you see my energy, you feel my spirit, you feel my vibration. That, my eye contact shows you from the rip that my life matter.
Okay, got it. Let's play this video because I want to look at this one right here because it talks about some myths that have been perpetuated about the young people that led the Black Lives Matter movement. Let's go ahead and roll clip.
If you've ever heard someone say, but what about black on black crime? We've got you covered. Scrolling through your Facebook feed, you'll probably see articles and arguments about Black Lives Matter. A lot of people are mad or just confused about this movement. So here are responses to 4 questions you might hear when talking about Black Lives Matter. Oh, so you care about black lives? Then why aren't you talking about black on black crime? First off, this assumes that the black community isn't worried about gun violence, which isn't true. For example, Ceasefire in Chicago is an organization that actually intervenes in local street and gang fights. There's even a documentary about them called The Interrupters. Black Lives Matter isn't just about the loss of life, which is always terrible. It's about the lack of consequences when black lives are taken at the hands of the police. When a civilian has committed a violent crime, they're generally arrested, tried, and then convicted. Conversely, there's a lot of evidence that it's very rare to secure an indictment against a police officer for excessive force. And an indictment is just a trial. It's not even a conviction. Also, black on black crime isn't a thing. 84% of white murder victims were killed by another white person. But we don't call it white on white crime. That's because our communities are still very segregated. So if you have the misfortune of being the victim of a crime, the perpetrator will most likely look like you. So why do people always bring up black on black crime? Because it's a diversion. They're trying to prove black citizens don't have the right to be outraged about police violence because their communities have a crime problem. But the truth is, black people are not more violent or more likely to commit crimes than anyone else. The reality is, because of a history of institutional racism, black communities have higher poverty rates, suffer from poorly funded schools, and are more likely to be targeted by police. So are you saying blue lives don't matter? Of course the lives of cops matter. That's why if you kill a police officer, you are rightly arrested and prosecuted. But saying blue lives matter effectively lumps a profession into the same category as a marginalized group of people. Becoming a police officer is an occupation. It's a choice. It's not something you're born into. And most importantly, advocating for citizens is not anti-cop. The job of police officers is to protect and serve all communities. If that's not happening, we need to reassess and find a solution. So you're saying only Black Lives Matter? That's racist. We've talked about this before, but this movement is not saying Black Lives Matter more than anyone else's. It's saying Black lives should matter, but the way that our justice system, our media, and our police have been operating suggests that they do not. It's totally okay for a movement to focus on issues specific to one marginalized group. Gay bars aren't unfair to straight people. A breast cancer walk isn't unfair to other forms of cancer, and Save the Rainforest isn't saying you hate all other trees. To quote one law professor's letter, the subtext of Black Lives Matter is, because of the brutalizing and killing of black people at the hands of the police, and the indifference of society in general, and the criminal justice system in particular, it is important that we say, Black Lives Matter. But what about the white victims of police violence? There's way more of them. Yes, there are more white people killed by police officers than black people. But when you look proportionately within the populations, black Americans are 2.5 times as likely as white Americans to be shot and killed by police officers. Black men make up just 6% of the nation's population, but of all the unarmed people shot and killed by police in 2015, 40% of them were black men. Those numbers are tragic. If an unarmed citizen is killed by the police, or an armed citizen is killed under suspicious circumstances, people should be upset no matter what the victim's race. This isn't a competition. Sadly, police violence is a problem in many communities, but bringing up other victims to discredit the Black Lives Matter movement is pretty disingenuous. If you really believe that police violence is a problem, you should support Black Lives Matter, as well as other organizations fighting for victims and their families. I know these conversations are hard, but they're necessary if we want to move forward. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Decoded.
All right. Now, here's my feelings on it. And I want everybody to hear me real clearly. Those young kids coming out of the tragedy in Parkland, Florida, they're doing a phenomenal job. They are bringing a conversation that some adults are scared to have. And they're doing it with a certain energy that's like, wow, what are you going to do? These kids are walking in strength. Now, the thing that I will also say is that when our children were doing this, it's like our children wasn't supposed to be talking like this. Our children shouldn't be doing this. And actually, our children also got legislation passed at a federal level that impacts everybody in the country to the better. So I'm drawing the comparison between what's happening now and what's been happening for the past several years. And I just want everybody to keep in mind, nearly every one of the movements in this country have been fueled by the youth. Like you were saying earlier, sometimes people get a little older and they get a little cautious. Young folk, they go right at it. Man, with all types of energy. We're going to change this. Laura Ingram said something about one of the Parkland survivors not getting into a college or university he wanted to get into. And he said, let me find out who your sponsors are. And he posted her sponsors on his Twitter page. And some of them started leaving. And now she's going on a scheduled, I'm putting up air quotes, a scheduled vacation next week.
Who's Laura Ingram?
She's a Fox News opinion show host.
Okay.
But the thing is, when she made fun of him, the first thing I thought is, why is a grown woman picking on a kid? But now she had to apologize. She apologized the next day, and now she's going on a scheduled vacation next week. I believe the suits said, you're costing us money now. We need you to sit down for a little while. But that's just me.
Put her on the bench.
That's just me. Let's keep going forward. I want to lighten it up a little bit. I saw something on Facebook that was talking about a woman changing her looks for her man. Now, this one, would you change your looks? This is Tamar Braxton. You know, she was married. You might not know. She was married to this guy named Vince.
Sister.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. She cut all her hair off.
Yeah.
And there's a clip of her talking about how she changed her looks for her man. There's a guy who's pretty well known. His name is Derek Jackson. He came back and made some comments on it. So I want to play this video. We'll play part of the video. Then we'll come back and we'll talk about interpersonal relationships and, you know, the way some women try to adjust their looks to appease their man, or how some women like, I ain't changing nothing. He like me, got me like this. If he don't like it, he can leave. So here we go. This one is, would you change your looks for your man? Tamar Braxton and Derek Jackson giving feedback. Let's roll clip.
Even, you know, being attractive for your mate. Like, I used to be like this. I used to have all blonde wigs. I still have 150,000 of them at my house since I done shaved my head off. You know what I mean? They're for sale, by the way. Because I won't be needing them anymore. But, you know, Vince liked blonde head, light, fed women. And, you know, I just wasn't born with no blonde hair. Yeah. But for me, I just think that's a responsibility that women have. It's to stay current for your man.
Women have to understand this. It does not make men bad, but you need to understand this about us. We like what we like. Period. We are aesthetic people. We are visual creatures. Yeah. The fact that you done decided you ain't gonna wear makeup no more, that ain't got nothing to do with what we like.
Point blank.
If I got to keep looking for it outside of my house, then I'm gonna go outside of my house. Sorry.
Okay, so I saw this clip on, I think it was the Shade Room's Instagram yesterday, but I'm just now seeing Steve Harvey's response to Tamar. So we're going to go just start with that before we get into the rest of it, man. I like Steve. I like a lot of the things that he says. But on this one in particular, I got to respectfully disagree. I don't think there should be any correlation between a man's faithfulness in his relationship and his woman's makeup. You know, now, yes, we are aesthetic or visual creatures, but before we make the decision to get into a relationship, we need to make sure that we are first committed creatures, or at least creatures who respect our vows. So, you know, how is it that you take this woman's hand in marriage for the rest of y'all lives through thick and thin, but all it takes is another woman's contour concealer to break that? And no, it's not about him being a good or a bad man, but definitely he's unfit for a relationship if what's in his house isn't more valuable to him than the fact that his woman no longer wears eyeshadow. You know, but nevertheless, I do agree with the part where he says that as a man, we like what we like, because that is true, 100%. But if you're the woman that we love, then certain things that we liked aren't as important as your happiness, as your confidence, as you feeling the best about yourself, as you being healthy. And last time I checked, you feeling free, you feeling, you know, no longer captive to people's opinions, a wig or weave or whatever. That's pretty damn healthy. And that's what Tamar said that she felt like whenever she made the decision to get her new cut. And just a sidebar, me personally, I think she's beautiful either way, but that cut really fits her, you know. But nevertheless, as a woman, I don't see why you would want to be with any man who's not as attracted to you whenever you feel your absolute best about yourself. You know, it'd be different if hair wasn't a big deal, if it wasn't tied to how she felt. Or if we're talking about something insignificant like, say, for instance, you choosing to wear those laced boy shorts instead of them big-ass granny panties all y'all got. I know they're comfortable, but I'm just saying. You know, or you choosing not to wear the bonnet sometimes during sex. You know, that's something different. Now, you want to make that tweak for your man to turn him on, a special occasion, by all means, do your thing. You know, I'm sure you like whenever he wears a tailored suit on a date, you know, or for sex, the tighty whities for some boxer briefs or boxers like an adult. Like, ain't nothing wrong with having your preferences on minor things. But let's say, for instance, you go to your man and you want to have a conversation with him 3 or 4 years into the relationship, and you say, you know what, babe, those 3.5 inches that you got, or 4 whenever you're really excited, they ain't cutting it no more. I think you need to go find 4 or 5 more, or else I'm going to go outside the house and...
Yeah, he started to lose me towards the end. I wanted to watch the video with you. I wanted to watch it with you because I didn't watch it all the way through so we could discuss it, you know, for the first time. But towards the end, he started to lose me. What do you think now? Should a woman keep her man's preferences in mind when it comes to the way she looks and dresses and things like that? What do you think?
Yo, Jeff, man, where you go?
I told you I wanted to light it up. I'm lighting it up now. You said I could ask you anything. Yeah, I'm asking your ass anything.
Yeah. Listen, man, for me, man, you know, with what I just went through, man, I done dealt with beautiful women, man, pretty women, man.
Okay.
And that ain't high on my list no more, man.
All right.
You know,
tell me what's high on your list.
Man, she got to be down with me like 4 flat tires, man.
I got you. No
matter what.
I got you. So you need that emotional beauty. You need that stability to be right there.
Loyalty, man. Sean, I love you. I don't care if we sleeping in Buckhead or if we sleeping at 5 Points Model Station. I'm with you, man.
All right. I got you.
That's what's important to me. Now, you know, I do like beautiful women. You understand?
You still got eyes.
But, you know, I think when people begin to change themselves to get acceptance from someone else, that's a self-esteem issue.
Okay.
You know, a self-acceptance and seeking approval issue, man. And to me, you know.
I got you. Now, Shanita says, can we keep it real? And she comes back. She says, do you know how many men emotionally check out because of women no longer keeping their attention due to the lack of attractiveness? Now, this is Shanita. Now, Shanita, I don't disagree with that too much. Here's my take on it. Ladies, don't start mothering us. Don't start dressing like you the mom for the whole household. Now, if you got children, yes, your children should view you as their mother. But damn it, you should still be my wife. And I want to see you as my wife and my woman. Every now and then, break out that vixen on a brother. You know, every now and then, you know, change it up because I'm going to do my part to make sure that you want to give that to me. I'm not going to sit around and just be on the couch. I'm going to make sure I look good for you too. However, to your point, there's nothing more attractive than 2 people going in the same direction through the ups and the downs, the lefts and the rights, the ebbs and the flows. That's the most beautiful part of the relationship. So, men, if you have that woman right now that you think about, and you remember some of the times that she got real tough and all she did was come in and support you and didn't nag you, or even if she did push you a little bit, it wasn't out of anger. It was saying, babes, You're better than this, babe. You're strong. If you got a woman like that, damn it, make her feel beautiful by showing appreciation, and then watch what she will do for you in return. What do you think?
Yeah, you can't. You can't get fat on me, man.
Oh.
You can't get fat on me, man. If you understand, you got to keep it. You got to.
Talk to me.
I gotta have something to look at.
Talk to me.
You got to stay right, man. If you was right when I met you, then you got to stay right.
Talk to me. Now let's say, let me ask this question. What if something happens health-wise?
That's a different story.
Okay,
Then
okay.
It kicks in that I'm down with you no matter what.
Absolutely.
It don't matter.
Absolutely.
But
I'm with you.
Everything cool. Now you got to,
I'm with you.
You got to keep me interested, man.
Now listen. Now we some older brothers. We might look like we're still in our 30s. We ain't in our 30s no more.
Right,
but I need y'all to understand, we stay fit. Now there was like a good solid year and a half that I couldn't work out because I had a car accident. Neck hurt, shoulder hurt, back hurt, knee hurt. So when I got back in the gym, I tried to go back at it. Neck hurt, shoulder hurt, knee, everything hurt. I couldn't work out. Finally, a couple of months ago, didn't hurt no more. As soon as I could, I got back in shape. I'm still getting myself back in shape, but still, you know what I'm saying? I think what we're both saying as men, ladies, don't just let it all go because you're married now. We still want that woman that's attractive. We got your back. Now, if something really happens, we got your back. But we want to come home and we want to see something that makes us, in our eyes, in our spirit, it still touches that spot. You know what spot we're talking about, too. It still touches that spot.
Especially in the bedroom, man.
Woo!
Especially in the bedroom,
Got
man.
to have it.
Because I'm visual, man.
Got to have it. Let's talk about some of these things right here. Now, Trinette, what's going on? I'm going to have you on the show real soon, Trinette. Trinette says, can't get fat. Well, that should be established in the beginning. I agree. All right, Trinette. Bless Gutierrez says, keep it sexy and tight. Go ahead, Bless. Yes, bless us with that tightness. Go on, bless us. All right, we're going to take that. All right, Trinette also says, but I need y'all to stay fit as well if y'all want us to. Now, we can work out together.
We're going to do that.
Both of us get ourselves in the gym. Can't work out together?
No.
What do you mean?
She in the way, man.
No. We can't go to the gym together?
No, she can't go with me to the gym, man.
Talk to me about that now.
Nah, man.
Help me understand.
Because I go hard in the gym, man. It's no nonsense with me. I don't want to talk. I don't want to.
Oh, no, I get it now.
Nah.
Not working out on the same machine. She does what she wants to do across the room.
You're not coming with me
not that day.
No, you go when you go.
Brother Sean has spoken.
You're not coming with me, man, because you're going to get in the way, man.
You set your own hours at the gym.
Yeah.
All right, hey.
Listen, I'm about it in the gym. I ain't playing.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna switch it up now. You said, let me tell everybody something. Sean said, don't send me no questions. Don't send me nothing. Just bring it from the rip, and we're gonna talk about it.
Right. Tell him. You told him, Sean, about a month ago.
Yep.
I'm gonna send you what we're gonna talk about.
Absolutely.
And I said, nah, man.
Don't send me shit.
It's gonna be live and direct.
All right.
Whatever you talk, I said you can ask me anything.
So that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. All right now.
Listen, man.
Yes.
Can we go back to the Black Lives thing and the girl?
Absolutely. Talk about it.
Man.
Talk about it. Hold on 1 second. I want you to be close up on the mic.
Get up on the mic.
Yes, sir. So that way everybody can hear it.
Let me get up on the mic.
Go ahead.
Now, Jeff, man. Black America, and I deal with this a lot in Volume 2.
Okay.
We are underachieving and we're underperforming.
Okay.
As a group, as a collective.
Okay.
In 2019, where we are, we've made some strides, but we should be further along than where we were.
I do not disagree.
We are.
I do not disagree.
Okay. So the black on black crime is real. All right. So I'm not going to minimize, oh, girl, she on the thing. Oh, minimize that. Now, when white cops kill black men, I hate that. And then there's no type of repercussion, no nothing, not even an indictment, no nothing.
Absolutely.
Because I'm a black man, I'm a black American male, and my son Sean is going to be a black American male. And it's not right. You understand?
I do.
Now, in the same breath, brothers killing brothers is real, man.
Okay.
Over nothing.
That's true.
And we can't, I can't co-sign You understand what she's saying? That, you know, like it's kind of like secondary to the white cops killing blacks, brothers. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are bad.
They are.
Okay? Now, what are we doing as Black America? Where are we going?
Mm-hmm.
Where's our map? Where's our itinerary? What is the plan? What's the goal? Where's the compass? Where's the backpack with the sea? Where's the what are we doing, man?
Mm-hmm.
When I look around from a macro, worldly,
Sure.
Vietnam has one of the fastest growing economies in the world.
China.
In the last 20 years, in our lifetime, from when we got the Mo Brown in 87 to now, has gone from maybe a 1 trillion economy to maybe a 14 trillion.
One of the fastest in the world.
Vietnam was literally blown to the ground in the 60s, 50 years ago. Somehow they've been able to come together and coalesce as a cohesive unit and get a map and move. Japan, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, nuclear bomb, atomic bombs dropped, wiped them out. 47?
It was
something
a long
like that.
time ago.
So 60 years, they went from that to being the best producers of automobiles and electronics on the planet. South Korea went through the Korean War. Both of them, they make some of the best cell phones. What are we doing, man?
I know exactly where you're going.
As Black America, man. I mean, all this crybaby shit, man. I ain't with this shit.
Let's talk about it.
We got to do better. Yeah, there are some systemic forces against me and against you as black men and against black. So what? That's nothing, man. We got to rise above that. In 2018, 2019, these countries, Russia, China, they're making military moves and strategies, man, to assert themselves in the position of world politics.
Not even politics, but world dominance.
Right. Now, yeah, America, we didn't have a rough go here. But we were brought here as property. We didn't migrate here with a visa. So it was never intended for us to partake and share when the Constitution was written, the Bill of Rights and all that. It was never written with us in mind. So that's real, and we have to accept that this is the position we're here. But given that, that should be even more of a reason why we should come together and coalesce and set and chart some type of course of where we're going. Because I believe, man, that if we don't know if Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping in China or Kim Jong-un in North Korea were to suddenly take over the world tomorrow, it could be very real that we going back to the prison camp, man. Physical slavery, man.
I understand where you're coming from in that perspective. That's a great point. Here's a counterpoint. The countries that you talked about, especially Nagasaki and then the other country and other city in Japan that was bombed, after they were bombed, they got reparations. They got paid. They got financial support to rebuild. Also, now in Vietnam and all these other places, they did not have the institutionalized structure that denies them progress. Now, people talk about what's going on in South Africa right now and what happened in Zimbabwe and the way that the people that migrated, I'm putting air quotes, migrated there, and when they were put out, how bad the countries were. The people that were migrants or who actually came in and colonized the places there in Zimbabwe and in South Africa, they came in and they had all types of support to help them get going while disenfranchising the people that were there. The same thing is going on in Australia with the Aborigine. They went and stole all this land and kicked them off of it and then said, hey, you don't get to partake in any of these programs that builds up these new people. That happened in this country as well. There were all types of land grants that were given to white people and government programs that helped white people learn how to farm, how to be business minded. All these things were put in place for these white settlers. Here's the difference. We were at our peak during segregation. And they would look at what we had. They would look at what we had and get mad and either bomb it or steal it. And nothing happened. That happened for years. And then finally with integration, we ran from our communities. And even Dr. Martin Luther King said that was one of the worst decisions he ever made to push for integration as opposed to push for equality under the law.
In my opinion.
Right. And hey, that's what I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. So bring it to the day right now. What I'm saying to everybody, people like you, people like me, other people in our circles, we are building legacy right now. It's just not going to be an immediate thing. Our children's children,
the posterity,
they will be much better off than we are because we are putting things in them. When you said that a good name matters and you're doing what you're doing for your son, that lets me know that you got it. I was talking to Wayne Swanson, Chip, and he has a farm down in McDonough or Hampton, Georgia. We were talking about things, and he was talking about legacy and wealth.
That's right.
So our generation, we recognize that there are things that has to happen, but what we're not doing, we're not putting things all out in front so everybody can see what we're doing. We're just doing it. So when you ask where the compass is, you are the compass. I am the compass. Wayne is the compass. Dexter Porter is the compass. Shermanata, we are all the compasses. Shanita is a compass. But we don't have to have this master plan for everybody to see anymore. Last thing that I'll say, there's this young lady.
What you mean we don't have to have a master plan for everybody to see? For black people to see?
I'm about to make the point. There's a young lady that was the women's movement speaker. She still is the front face of it. And the people are saying you need to disassociate yourself with Minister Louis Farrakhan because he's this, he's that. You should not be associated with him. These are non-black people telling a black person who they should associate with. And she is standing her ground. She's saying, no, when my family needed, they helped. I went through a program where they helped my family. Who are you to tell me I shouldn't be a supporter or at least listen to what he says? So slowly but surely, our community is turning a blind eye to people who tell us who should lead us, and we're leading ourselves. It's just not going to happen overnight. It's a long process because it took a long time for us to get to the point where we denied ourselves as a community and saw things outside of our community as better than what we had.
That's our fault.
I'm going to disagree. Here's why I say it's not our fault. I agree. It's our fault that we've allowed ourselves to stay here. Now,
Jeff.
Let's talk. Here we go.
Nah, Jeff. I went to prison, right?
Yes, sir.
I was doing bad tax returns.
Okay.
Knew I was doing bad when I was doing them.
Absolutely.
When the deal went down,
she
ratted. I wanted to blame, but at the end of the day, it was on the kid, man.
Great point.
And I can't blame nobody.
Great point.
For what happened to me because I wasn't drunk, I wasn't high. All of my cognitive functions in my left and right cerebral cortex work. I made the decision to do what I did, and I got what was happening. So I can't go with that argument.
Great point.
We got to get out of that. You understand?
Great point. Counterpoint. Here's why we can't get out of it. The point that you just made was accountability. Great. You took accountability for what happened. You own it. Perfect. Now, we
got to do that as Black America.
Okay, now here's the counterpoint. I just saw an article that had two people in the same city commit the same crime. One person got 24 months probation and one person got 20-something years in prison.
Yeah.
And guess why? Because he was black.
Black man gonna get more time.
Okay, so now that part
fair.
right there.
We're not playing in a fair. This is not a fair situation.
That's the part, though.
We know that.
But again, though, that's the part that we can walk and chew gum at the same time.
So let's leave. Let's leave. Let's pack everything up and we don't have to stay here in this country.
Let's be realistic now.
We don't have to stay here.
You're absolutely right, but let's be realistic. Where would we go? First of all, second of all, how we gonna get there? But let's just be real now. People ain't gonna move just like that, and
because they're making a conscious decision not to.
Hear me out. This is why we came on today. This
awesome
is gonna be a great. This is gonna be a great discussion.
Jeffrey L. Miller Show.
Here's the thing: when people say, "I want to do something better," but when they try to do something better, they get hit with the roadblock because of how they look. That's not something we just look past. You either go and get that right there changed, or you create your own opportunity. There are not a lot of people that create their own opportunity. It's only 5% of the population that make a way. The other 95%, they're followers. So we can't just say wholesale black community, let's get up and move. No, what we have to do, the 5% people that know how to affect change and make opportunities happen, we have to make the opportunities happen. That makes the level playing field for our people right there happen. And it's not happening like that. Our government officials get in office and they don't do things in our best interest. They do things in the best interest of the city.
We elected them. Come on, man.
Okay, say that again.
Come on, man. We elected them. We elected them.
But when we elect them now, do we elect them with the thought that they're going to help us, or we just want to see a black face in office?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't care who in it. It could be a blue man with a purple hair.
Yes, sir.
Sean Gunby gonna make it.
I got you.
Now let me say this here, man.
Let's talk about it.
Let's go back. I want to retract. We talked about Hiroshima and Nagasaki when they got bombed and they got reparations and all of that.
Absolutely.
Now, the real situation with that was in Japan, Vietnam, these different countries, when they got reparations or whatever financial aid they got, they had a sovereign land. So they were working to build up something that was theirs, okay? Now, that's, you talked about from a financial perspective.
Yep.
Now, they could have took that money, they could have allowed their minds to be like, oh, look at what happened to me, look at what happened to us. They didn't do that. They took the resources and they elevated their vibration. They elevated their thinking. They elevated their minds. They created a vision and they strove collectively for the vision. In my opinion, which is what elevated them from ashes to where they are today. Now, we talked about the youth. The agitators or the revolutionaries have always come from the youth. Dr. King was in his 20s.
Sure.
Malcolm was in his 20s. Snick, H. Rap Brown, Stokely Carmichael. All of these brothers were in their 20s. So the youth are always the ones that kicks up the dirt. When we got the Morris Brown in 87, we 19, 20, we taking over the administration building.
Sure.
Chuck D,
Sure.
Boogie Down, you know, we ready, we don't care, we ain't scared of nothing. And that same spirit and that same energy, we have to maintain that throughout our entire lives to continually affect change, to show the posterity. And I'm glad that you mentioned that because what I'm doing, I'm 49, right? I ain't bought a pair of sneakers in 2 years. My homeboy Chip Morris Brown dude, sent me a whole outfit that I wore out of prison. Shout out to Chip. I ain't bought a pair of sneakers in 2 years. I could buy them. I make the money to do it. I take care of me and Sean. But what I'm doing at 49, and I know I look good for 49. I look good for 49. Nigga eat clean, proper sleep, nigga working out. But at 49, I'm getting down, not for little Sean, but for the kids that's in his nutsack.
Understood.
The kid, his grandchildren's children is what I'm doing today for. It's called the posterity.
Absolutely.
And I don't see us collectively. And let me say, I got to say this here too, because I got some good white friends, man. All white people, black America, we don't have to hate white people to get to where we want to go. In my opinion.
I don't disagree with that at all.
There's some white dudes sent me money while I was in prison, and some black people that I talked to on the phone that said they were going to send it and didn't send it.
Understood. So
I can't get on that bandwagon that all white folks is bad. I can't do that. Not me.
Yeah. Now, you never heard me say that, though.
No.
Okay.
But the argument in all the barbershops and the beauty salons, at the cookout, at the family reunion, you know, black, we always whining about white people, white. We so concentrated on that we're not concentrated on us.
I don't
and
disagree.
Our plan.
I do not disagree with that at all. I'm going to take the barbershop perspective. I'm going to take that perspective and we'll just talk about it.
We don't have to. Jeff, you could try all you want to stop me from getting to where I want to go. But I'm going to will it into existence what I want my life to be. And we have to adopt that as a collective, man.
I agree.
And now.
Well, let me do this because you brought up the barbershop and how the barbershop might view as all white people bad. Now, I don't view that, but I'm going to take that perspective and we're going to talk about it a little bit. I'm going to go over some things real quick for you and let's just discuss them. All right. Now, when you have the people that say, honestly, all white people are bad, they might be talking about that white person that says things like, well, why did he run? He deserved to get shot. But
that's one white person.
That's just one example I gave, but there are more examples I'm going to quote now. Or what about the person who says, hey, who were the people who bombed a whole community in Philadelphia? And who got bombed? Those were black people that got bombed by, I'm going to say it was an alleged racist police department. Who was it also that got pulled out of a car and got the crap beat out of him? It was a black man by 4 white police officers, and they took the trial from the Los Angeles area to Lily White Simi Valley. So there are all types of places that we can quote where white people did things to our people.
Certain white people.
Okay, now you say certain. Jim Crow laws. Those weren't certain white people. That was institutionalized.
Systemic, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
The legacy of that still lives now.
During that time. Even during that time. And I'm not going to bat for white because I'm a pro-black. You understand?
Sure, absolutely.
I'm pro-black.
Absolutely. We're just discussing it.
You take my word from me.
Yes, sir.
You know what I want to say. I'm a pro-black. You understand?
But I appreciate you.
But even during that time, there were white people that marched with Dr. King.
Okay.
And there were white people that, whether they didn't vocally speak out or take a position out front that they were against what was happening to black people, they knew what was happening to black people was wrong from a spiritual standpoint, but they maybe didn't want to be the unpopular person. Now, it's not lost on me, and I'm not naive to believe that there are some white people in America today that look at these police shootings of these brothers, man, and say, man, this shit here is wrong, man. And a lot of that is coming from our generation, the millennials, those that got introduced to the hip hop and to the Kobe's and to the LeBron James and a lot of their heroes of black. A lot of black people, white people don't want this kind of tension that's in America. They want to live in peace, man. But it's a long conversation. It's institutionalized. It's systemic. I saw brothers in the feds, man. I was on a compound. It's about 1,100 of us, 65% or 70% black. Brother get caught with $600 worth of crack, 144-month sentence, 12 years.
12. Now powder.
My bunkie. My bunkie, shout out to my bunkie, $3,800 worth of crack, 240 months, 20 years. He did 11 years, and Obama commuted his sentence. He got the letter. He left like 2 weeks before I left. Obama sprung the gate for him. So I saw the disparity, and I saw when the white boys would come in, or even the Spanish dudes that are white complected versus the Spanish dudes that are dark complected, darker Dominicans or darker Puerto Ricans or darker Cubans. Brother, they always got the longer sentences, man.
Absolutely.
But that's a conversation about this prison industrial complex and how it's privatized and it's a money making. These are S corps, C corps, and for-profit ventures.
Sure. So that's something that we can focus on and get changed. At the same time, we're addressing the issues that face our inter-communities crime levels. But now let's just be real now. Our crime levels aren't much higher than other communities' crime levels. That's why the young lady says there's no real black on black crime, because even though our rates are higher when it comes to homicides, when it comes to other crimes,
but white
people are higher.
Why are we doing this to each other, given the circumstance of where we at? We know it's a systemic, institutionalized racism. Why can't we just go behind the building and fight instead of you got to come and blow my brains out? You know, why are we killing each other? Why?
Now that's a fair point.
Why?
Let's talk about it. You know,
we supposed to be further along than where we at, man.
I agree now.
We got to stop with that lame ass argument. You white man this, the white man that. Come on, man.
All right,
stop
now, y'all put y'all seatbelts on. So here we go now.
Jeffrey L. Miller
you
show.
say
Morris
it's lame.
Brown.
You say
Morris
it's
Brown.
lame.
Best
Let's talk
school
about it.
in the state of Georgia.
You say that it's a lame argument. I'm going to tell you why it's not a lame argument. When we had the war on poverty, that was a way to right the communities, get everybody straight.
Wait, when was this, Jeff?
This was back with Truman. But when we had
we got money now.
I need you to stick with me.
We got money now.
I need you to stick with me. When we had the war on drugs, and then we had 3 strikes and you're out, that was specifically targeting
for us,
our community.
Absolutely.
So what happened as far as generation goes, we have a whole generation of children that grew up without the strength of the father being in the household. The war on poverty began to remove men from the household so that that woman could get that government assistance. Those things inhibited the progress that we should be going on. And the last thing that I'll say, I keep hearing people talking about other communities have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. I'm saying bull. This is why I'm saying bull. The white community got all types of help from the government through land grants and social programs to help them learn how to farm the lands. When we have the Arabs come over, and no disrespect to the Arabs, but when they come over, what they do is they get these grants that actually allow them to start gas stations. When the Asian people come over, they're able to get free programs to start nail salons and restaurants. But you go in your same neighborhood where you've been living there your whole life and you try to apply for one of them grants, you are not going to get it because it ain't for you. So if we got those things that are inhibiting our communities, we have to be able to address and attack those while at the same time corralling our own attitudes and getting ourselves straight. We can't ignore one and focus on the other. We can focus on both.
I agree with you.
All right.
I agree with you. Black America.
Yes.
The United States of America is an $18 trillion economy.
Easily.
Largest economy on the planet.
Easily.
Black America, which is within the largest, has a spending power of $1.3 trillion.
And growing.
We are ahead of Spain, Australia, and Russia. I think we are the 12th wealthiest nation in the world. We don't even make a bra for ourselves, man. We don't even make a sanitary napkin for ourselves, man.
That's changing.
A pair of socks.
All that stuff is
that
changing.
We manufacture and ship out to the world. We don't even make soap. I mean, hold
on a second. Tell the soap story, because this is one of the favorite things that I've heard Brother Sean say. This was maybe, I want to say about 6-7 years ago. You came in a meeting and you were talking about the soap.
With the Morris Brown?
Absolutely. Tell the soap story.
How when he was down in Charleston, South Carolina, and Denmark Vesey, they were leading the slave revolt, and they all got chased out. And I think Morris Brown,
Bishop Morris Brown.
Bishop Morris Brown. Morris Brown is the only school in the state of Georgia founded by black people for black people.
Absolutely.
Okay? Ain't no AU center without Morris Brown.
Keep on talking.
All right? They talk about Dr. King. Dr. King's mother graduated from Morris Brown, the woman that birthed him. All right?
Keep on talking.
So Morris Brown begins to sell soap as a means to raise money to help them establish this school in 1881, 16 years after
Emancipation Proclamation.
Right. Which Abraham Lincoln, he was pump faking.
That's a whole different topic. Whole different topic.
I deal with it in volume 2. But, we control $1.3 trillion, man. We don't make an automobile. We don't produce a cell phone. If a black American created a cell phone, I would give up my BlackBerry and buy that phone just on the strength of, what are we doing? All we do is consume. What are we doing? So
let's talk about what we're doing now. Today, you and I sat down and we were talking in a black-owned restaurant from people that we went to school with, spending our money there. Now, I got one of your books today. And the first thing you said, now brother to brother, the first thing you said, nah, man, nah. And I said, no, we have to
I'm
start.
I'm gonna pay you, Sean. We got to start. Money circulating.
We have to start spending money in our community.
Yeah.
Another thing, Tina Honey. Remember Tina Honey?
Nah.
Well, you know her face.
She with the Morris Brown?
Absolutely. I know you know her face.
She eyed. If she with the Morris Brown, she eyed.
Here's the thing. When Brother Wayne had the farm going and he started saying, this is in the early stages of it, you can buy a whole cow. I think Tina bought a whole cow to support. Now, what we're doing, this is just us from Morris Brown and our generation. What we're doing is we're turning over money as much as we possibly can in our communities, and that begins the basis of it. A young lady, I think she was 11, she came out with a line of lemonade. And was it tea or lemonade?
They sell it in the Whole Foods.
They got it in Walmart. No, the one I'm talking about.
Black girl.
Yeah, $11 million from her. There is a toothpaste line, a toothbrush line.
Yeah, what about the drawers, man? What about some diapers, man?
Listen to me
for
now.
Our kids.
I'm with you. Listen to me. The people that I work for full time, they deliberately put their business in Clayton County because Clayton County's unemployment rate at that time was about 12%. And because of this one company that employs, it's black owned now, that employs anywhere from 500 to 1,500 people, it dropped from about 12% to 6%. So there are people that look just like us doing things for neighborhoods with people in it that looks just like us. It's happening. It's just not going to happen overnight.
Jeff, I agree with you, man. 8,000%, man. But you giving us. You being too soft on us, man.
I'm being too soft?
You being too soft on us, man.
Talk to me. Let's talk about it.
Man, I'm not cutting black America no slack, man. Listen.
Let's talk about it. I'm listening to you.
We talking about $1.3 trillion, man. We don't make a pair of sneakers that we could sell.
We make sneakers.
To Switzerland.
We make sneakers.
I'm talking about manufactured. We have the sewing machine, the plant.
That's fair.
A bra for our women.
That's
some
fair.
Drawers for us that not only can we buy in Black America, but that we could sell to Honduras.
That's
or
fair.
That we could ship to Uzbekistan
That's
or
fair.
Czechoslovakia. We can trade with. That's what I'm. See, I got an accounting degree. I got a master's degree in finance.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
sir.
I ain't thinking on what's happening in Newark and Jersey City and Patterson and Harlem. I'm thinking on a global scale, man.
Let's take it global.
We got to step our game up. We're underperforming we're underachieving.
I'm with you. Let's take it globally now. There are some economies that with the people that are in those economies who look just like us, they will not allow them to sell their number one crop. Sugarcane. Many countries in South America right now are denied access by the World Bank. That keeps those countries in third world country status. Let's talk about legalization of marijuana. In the state of Florida, where the brothers could really come up real quick if they were allowed to sell marijuana, they deliberately put laws in place that said you would have to be a horticulturalist for at least 10 years on the books.
So stop.
Before you can sell. Now, that's giving them, again, a 10-year head start.
Giving them a hurdle.
And other hurdles. So things like that, those are the things that when you look at all the people that have been arrested for drug crimes, all the people that have been denied their rights after, they serve their time because of those drug crimes, if they are not able to get their or to have their opportunity in the free market, the government is picking winners and losers. And that's not really a capitalist society. That really is just putting money in the hands of the rich or the people that have contacts. So if we're going to be real about it now, We still have to tackle those things head on while we're taking on the things in our communities, and we're talented enough. We can do it all.
Absolutely, and I'm with you. And let's get rid of this misconception that America's capitalist. This is not a capitalist. This is an imperialistic society.
Oh,
this isn't.
Yes, okay.
You know, that's just okay. That's the perfume word.
Okay.
That's the cologne
I'll
word.
take
You
that.
understand?
I thought you were gonna say something different, but I'll take that.
No, I'm with you.
Yes, sir.
But listen, man.
Mm-hmm.
I had a $1.2 million net worth, man.
Yes, sir.
I had $656,000 in my TD Ameritrade stock account, and I had 275 stacks in my business account. That's 931, and I owned another property free and clear that was worth about $150 to put me a little over $1 million.
Yes, sir.
Lost every motherfucking penny. 8 rental properties, my tax business, which brought me in $300,000 a season. I used to make $200,000 in the month of February alone. I had 8 rental properties that brought me in $84,000 a year. I had an income of about 400 stacks a year.
Sure.
Lost it all. Lost my house, everything. Then went to prison. Lost everything. I could have. And I could still be there. This was in 2012, 13. I could have stayed there and lamented and lamented. But you got to get the fuck back up, man.
Agreed.
You got to, man, shut up. Sean, I used to say, Sean, shut the fuck, get up. Nigga, let's go. It's over. The past, we talked about before, the past is over. Let's go.
Yep.
So if I can do that, and I'm back, okay?
Sure.
I'm just a microcosm
Absolutely.
of what we could do collectively as a group, as a microcosm. But we got to get more discipline, regulate our thinking.
Absolutely.
Raise our vibration. Stop being fat, eat clean. This obesity thing. Everybody's on diabetes medication, heart disease. In their 30s and 40s. Come on, man.
I'm with you.
We got to get right. And somebody's got to become the leader. Somebody's got to lead. We have to allow somebody or a group of people to lead.
Let's touch on that. Let's talk about leadership.
We have to.
Let's talk about leadership. You said something earlier that jumped out at me. You said that you can tell by the way I walk that my life matters. Because I know it matters, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. When you walk into a room, you take over the room. That's what
your body language says a lot.
That's what people do when they are leaders by example. Now let's look at who's been leading and I'm only talking about our young men in this example. Let's talk about who's been leading our young men. TV, or rappers, or gang members, because they've been looking for that love, going back to the men that have been pushed away. Now, we just saw a stat, and we can look at all the crime statistics in there. Our men get greater sentences for the same crime out of everybody, and we get over-policed. Our young men can get arrested for something and harassed, whereas a young white man could be said, he's just a young kid who made a mistake, or something like that. They're always painting us as the bad person. With those types of things, somebody like you, somebody like me, somebody like people in our peer group, continuing to do what we're doing, it's going to be a ripple effect. It's just, what I'll say to your point, is just not enough of us doing it in a concerted effort. So let me do this, because I don't want to miss anybody on the thread, because it's getting hot.
Talk about Morris Brown?
Oh, absolutely. Come on now.
Yeah, we
Come
got
on,
to talk
son.
about Mo Brown.
So here we go. Shanita said, that's why self-love must start at home. Good deal, good deal. OD says, let's talk about some of the great stuff we're doing. Hopefully we were able to touch on some of those, Olivia. Good to see you. Trinette says, but we can't let that stop us. We don't support each other and truly believe if we unite, we could find our own. That's true. Shanita says, I agree with you about the grants, but also know that we get grants as well. What we do not do is share how we got the grants. They do. Well said. Now, I might get something, and now I'm just using myself as an example. I might get something, and guess what? I'm going to hold on to it because I'm scared if somebody else gets it, That's going to mess with mine instead of realizing that there's enough wealth for everybody.
We're all in here together, man.
Absolutely. Just because I'm rich doesn't mean that he can't be rich too. He's not. There's enough wealth to go around. We just have to learn how to spread it. Just a few more comments. This is Tina right here. Tina says, yes, that's what gets me heated. We don't support our own who try to provide quality customer service and a quality product. That's why I brought up Tina, because when Tina made that purchase, and Tina's in Florida, I looked at myself, I said, there ain't no way. First of all, I'm going to let Tina outdo me by not supporting my brother who's in the same state as me. No, I got in my car and I drove down to his house and I bought something. And if I see him at a farmer's market not too far from where I am, he's on Facebook, I drive over there and I buy something. He was on the show a couple of weeks ago talking about an event he got coming up just to support. The bottom line is, and this is something that I believe that we're aligned on, wherever we can, we got to turn the money over with each other.
I'm with you.
We keep turning it over with each other.
Yeah.
We're going to build the basis for our children's children to stand on.
And once we harness and build our economic clout, then we can put more pressure on the leadership in City Hall to stop occupying our community, stop policing us so hard, because we got economic might.
Absolutely.
You understand? Economic might, it means something from a collective.
Absolutely.
You understand? That's what I think.
I want to go back to something Tina just said. She said, because I told you she bought a whole damn cow. She says, and 2 years later, we're trying to figure out how to get the cow to her. That's a lot of meat to ship, Tina. All right, Trinette says, we don't support. Bottom line, we find excuses. I'm not saying that you have to buy black all the time, but our community has everything that we need. I committed myself to buy black for the last 5 years, and it works. Now, here's the thing. As much as I can with this show, I like to have people on to help support their businesses. We talk about it all the time. I have a segment called the Boss is Black. And all we talk about is what those business owners do and promote their business. And in about 2 weeks, we're going to have Wings on Weed on the show. And they're going to talk about what they do out there. Trinette, I want you to listen to me now. I'm going to have you on this show coming up soon in the month of April. Tina came from Florida to be on the show, part of the panel. Tina has a book out. Tina does a lot. Tina's about business. But she came on the show to support. All types of people that I know from school, when I didn't have a guest, I would call them up. They would roll through. So when you and I are talking, I'm seeing the base being built. We might not see it, but we're doing our part to see the whole house. And when the house comes together, it has to be built on a solid foundation, and that's our responsibility. Our children are going to have to go further than us. They're going to have to put the framework in place. But the children after that, they should be the ones sheetrocking, hanging
putting the copper pipe in,
putting everything in.
PVC,
absolutely,
solar panels.
Now, because we know better, we are the children after integration. So now we've seen the other side of it. So we have to rebuild and get back to our own communities. And I think we're starting to do it slowly but surely. Let's talk about Morris Brown College a bit.
Love it.
All right. Now I need y'all to understand
Love
something.
Morris Brown.
I want y'all to understand. I would not have my children were it not for Morris Brown College. I would not be, my parents did a great job building me up. But I went to Morris Brown a flawed diamond. Morris Brown polished me up. I'm a bright, shiny, clarity is on point. Ain't no, there's a couple of inclusions. There's supposed to be inclusions in a good diamond. But damn it, you put me up to the light and I sparkle. Hell, I sparkle in the dark.
Yeah.
I give that to Morris Brown College. So when we talk about Morris Brown College, first of all, I want you to tell me what Morris Brown College did for you, for Sean Gunby.
Yo, man, Tyrone Fletcher.
Oh, boy.
Ding.
You took it back.
You should smoke a pipe.
Colonel Fletcher, absolutely.
Tyrone Fletcher and my
yes,
mother
sir.
Got me to Borders Towers, room 306.
Yes, sir.
She took me to the First Atlanta Bank in West End, got me a Tilly card, and put $400 in there, and said, "I'll see you later." And left me here at 18. I didn't even know how to wash clothes, man.
Man, I hear you.
And I met people like Alice, Kawana, Shanita,
Absolutely.
Chip, and made everlasting friendships that has me on the Jeffrey L. Miller Show here
Absolutely.
today.
Yes, sir.
Now, Morris Brown, I think Morris Brown has engraved its image in the spiritual sheets and in the mental fabric of Atlanta and the state of Georgia.
Absolutely.
From City Hall to the police department, to the fire department, to city council, wherever, Morris Brown has always been there. And in my opinion, and I'm saying this, the black community in the state of Georgia ought to be ashamed of itself. The black community in the city of Atlanta ought to be ashamed of itself to sit back with a feeling of disengagement, disinterest, apathy, and let Morris Brown be in the position that it's in. Now, I understand it was a self-inflicted wound, okay? And I've done a little research, and Dr. Cross and the guy Singh, they fell on the sword, federal investigation. But it happened on somebody's watch, man.
Absolutely.
On the AME Church, man, 6th District, African Methodist Episcopal Church. When I got there in 87, 88, 89, 90, it was always something going on. Morris Brown got financial problems. Morris Brown, we always dealt with that. So, in my opinion, it wasn't just Dr. Cross and this Singh dude. Yeah, what they did was wrong, and it was the ultimate collapse. But there were some people that had oversight, man, that allowed this to go. There weren't no checks and balances. As an accounting major, we took a class called auditing, where you had to have internal controls. You understand? So, you know, and then I want to put it on me, man, and you, the alumni. All of us who got there in 87, 88. I can't listen to Public Enemy's album, A Nation of Me, and it hold us back, and not think about, oh man, I was in Wilkes when I was sitting on the wall or in the gym when this KRS-One song, and then the music and the lyrics that they were kicking while we were there. We haven't been able, it seems as though we didn't listen to what they were saying, because if we did, the alumni would have a more concerted effort in pressing the church out about, yo, what the fuck is going on, man? Where are we, man? What this happened in 2002. It's 2019. We're talking about 16 years. What's happening? You understand? And I think that we give, because it's the church and people with titles, bishops and preachers and deacons, and we give them, like, we're afraid to say what we want to say about it because it's a church, and you know, we're giving these people respect. But behind these titles are just regular people, man.
Agreed.
Who are fallible and who make mistakes. And some of them are incapable and inept to run a school. So it's up to us, man. It's up to me, myself included, and to all the alumni, all the Deltas, all the AKAs, all the Alphas, all the Q. We got to come back and start pressing some people out about, yo, man, what's up with our school? How could Morris Brown do this in 1881 when we just spoke about the Jim Crow laws was cold-blooded in effect?
Sure.
He started a school, and here we are 137 years later, in 2019, we're within an $18 trillion economy. We control 1.2, and we can't come up with $40 million to bring a school up. Why shouldn't we? Morehouse, Spelman, they're considered HBCUs, but when you drill down, Spelman is the wife the maiden name of Rockefeller's wife. Okay? And these schools were funded by Nelson Rockefeller. Not a bad thing. It is what it is. But Morris Brown is the only school in the state of Georgia that was founded by a black man for a black man.
Understood.
You understand?
Absolutely.
And we need to do better, man.
I agree.
You understand? And I'm hopeful with this Tom Joyner thing. He wants to raise $20 million. And you were telling me before you sit on the board and all whatever. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I just said it.
No, you can say that.
So, you know, where's our map? Where's the itinerary? Where's our compass? Where's the goal sheet? Where are we going? When we raise this money, what are we doing? What do we owe on back taxes? Is the school under a 501c3 under the church? Doesn't have to pay taxes, or is it a separate entity? What do we owe on back water bill? Back Georgia Power? You understand?
Great questions.
When we get the school back right, all the alumni, myself included, 1 week out of the year, we should come here and do landscaping. Some kind of system based on your birthday or your social security number. 1 month, you got to come cut grass, pick up paper, and in the same time, we showing the posterity who are there that, we care about this school. We should be in the final 64. Spike Lee films movies on Morris Brown. A lot of his movies is up there. We couldn't capitalize on Drumline. One of the brothers from Goody Mob, T-Mo, was out of Morris Brown.
Absolutely.
I'm watching Sung 2 weeks ago. One of the dudes from Silk got on a Morris Brown shirt.
Absolutely.
Outkast made a song, Morris Brown. You know, the gym is there. Why are we not holding?
We don't own the gym anymore.
We don't own the gym no more? Why not?
Friendship owns the gym.
Okay.
In the land sale that we had when we went through our bankruptcy, that was part of the property that we actually sold. So the gymnasium belongs to Friendship.
So what in fact do we own?
We are the quad. So the area right in the center where you have the administration building.
Yard?
The yard. That's it.
Griffin
right there.
High Tower?
And Fountain Hall. That's it.
What about Sarah Allen?
Now, SAQ, well, that's been torn down now. But Ferber Cottage and Gaines Hall, the stadium, the Student Union building, Wilkes Hall, all that is owned by the city of Atlanta. And right now, the way that the litigation is going, Clark Atlanta will probably be getting that property back because of the reversionary clause. So all of the property pretty much around Morris Brown, that's not owned by Morris Brown anymore. So we're just right there in the center.
Yo, that shit sound crazy to me, man. You just stabbed me, man, in my soul, man.
I want to go back, and the things that I'm going to talk about are public record. What I like about what I'm able to talk about is I got to see it firsthand. Could you explain
to me how you affiliated with the school now? What you do? Can you tell them that?
Sure. Right now I'm on the board of trustees. Now there's some things I can't talk about. I'm going to talk about things that have happened in the past that are common knowledge, or on the books. Everybody, this is public information. Morris Brown College was approached by Chick-fil-A several years ago about establishing a Truett Cathy Legacy Center on the campus. It was a deal that would have been very fruitful for Morris Brown. We would have had to rename some buildings. So the football stadium would no longer be Herndon Stadium. It probably would have been the Truett Cathy Athletic Stadium or something like that. That deal fell through, unfortunately, and we were not able to go forward with that partnership. Not long after that, we had another partnership offer that we entered with a company called FDLLC. And FDLLC partners, and they actually are a minority owner in Family Dollar stores. And the Family Dollar stores are notorious for coming in the black communities and really giving, I won't say bad product, but they don't have the best reputation in our communities. That deal was a very fruitful deal for Morris Brown College. That deal went away because of the spread of misinformation by some of the elected officials in the city of Atlanta. They basically got on the news and said that we don't want to have that deal go through because they're going to have pawn shops and liquor stores all over that campus. And all of a sudden, the partnership dissolved. After that, there was another deal that would have been very fruitful for Morris Brown. It would have been a licensing deal where you might have had the student union building in Cunningham Auditorium. Let's use Cunningham Auditorium. That building or that part of it would have been converted to, let's say, a FedEx office. I'm just using that as an example of how they would have used the property for mixed use, so everybody got a little piece of the action, if you will. And that deal went away. We had 3 deals in less than 2 years that would have been very fruitful for Morris Brown that all went away. And they went away while we were in bankruptcy because the city of Atlanta needed to have that property to move some things around to put that new stadium up. Now, I'm just going to speak for Jeffrey Miller. This is not affiliated with anybody on the board. This is just me on my show. And I'm going to tell it like I saw it back then and the way I still see it right now. Morris Brown right now should be in a place of prominence again, because one of those 3 deals should have gone through. You don't get people talking to you like that without them seeing, hey, this is some valuable stuff. And you don't lose deals like that unless there are bigger plans from the city standpoint. If the city starts saying things, if the mayor starts saying things, that lets you know that it's more than just Morris Brown not doing what they're supposed to do. There's some bigger wheels turning. And so once the stadium got those last 2 churches out of the way, those churches had to go somewhere. One of them decided to get out of the area. Friendship was like, we ain't going too far away. And they got a piece of property from ITC, and they got property from Morris Brown. And the amount of money that Morris Brown got all together was a steal for the city and for Friendship. Friendship got more money for the couple of acres they had than Morris Brown got for 19, 20 acres. It was absolutely ridiculous. Now, that's not an indictment on the board or the president or the AME church. What I'm saying is we got railroaded. We got railroaded. And we came out of bankruptcy with very little money for operating expenses. That's not the point of bankruptcy. You go into bankruptcy to, get rid of some things or reconsolidate and settle for pennies on the dollar, but you want to come out at least having some type of solvency. And unfortunately, the deal that we had, the best deal that we had at the time, came from the city of Atlanta and Friendship, and it wasn't enough money to pay off all the creditors that we owed and have operating costs. That's why we are still facing what we're facing. Now, I'm gonna tell everybody this. Things are turning around for Morris Brown. They really, really are. That compass and that roadmap, that's going to be shown really, really soon. We're going to come out and say, hey, this is where we're going and this is the plan. I can't speak on anything more than that because there's a protocol to it and it's going to go through proper protocol.
Right.
I just want everybody to know that we are not sitting idle. We are creating opportunities instead of waiting on opportunities to come to us. When we create something, people will partner with you. And that's what we're doing now. We're creating our own way. If you have not seen, you really don't have to go to the campus and do a campus cleanup anymore because the school pays for landscaping. There was a point where you walked into the administration building and stuff was falling down from the ceiling and the air didn't work. Through the support of the National Alumni Association, the roof is fixed. The ceiling is fixed. The ceiling inside the administration is fixed, and the air conditioning and the heat works in that building. So there has been progress. We have been capitalizing on the movie and the television filming on the campus. Now, we learned from Drumline. One of my favorite shows, Black Lightning. A couple of episodes filmed right there on Morris Brown's campus. And we got the proper money for it, and we got the proper contracts put in place. So I just need everybody to understand.
What's up with the accreditation, man?
I need everybody to understand. Here's what I can tell you about this. I cannot break protocol. What I can tell you is that there is a solid plan in place to help us get reaccredited. A solid plan, and we have an expert helping us do it. It's not just us going through the motions. We have someone who has a reputation for every school that he ever worked with got their accreditation. 100% success rate. That's what I can say on that.
All right, well, Jeff, man, let me say this here, man.
Let's talk about it. You know, we both love Morris Brown College now. We both love it.
Let me say this here, man.
Yes, sir.
You a part of the board of trustees. I ain't a part of the board of trustees. Mm-hmm. So I'm indicting them.
Okay.
Okay? Mm-hmm. If these deals were on the table as you speak, as you just spoke of. Somebody's not a deal closer.
Let's talk about that
Morris
now.
Brown.
Let's talk about that.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Because so that is a sign of being inept, incapable.
Okay, let's talk about
of performing when the pressure is on. I don't know who. And see, I did some research. I pulled down. I went on because I was coming on the show, man.
There you go.
Yo, this is my Morris Brown book from freshman orientation, man. The first 100 years.
I understood.
And I went and I pulled down. This is the brother, Bishop Reginald Jackson.
6th district.
Yeah, he get a pass. He came here in 2012. Okay, now
he came here after 2012. After 2012.
Okay,
Williams was here in 2012.
The people that were here when it went down with Dr. Cross and Singh,
yes,
they've probably evolved and rolled on to other positions. Or
they're retired.
Right. So there's no continuity. You need continuity of leadership when you're talking about a venture like running a school, a multi-million-dollar school. So I'm wounded, man.
Understood.
And I'm hurt, man. You know, to hear what you telling me, man. And let me say this here to you, man. And you can go back and tell them, or if you want to invite me to the meeting, I'll tell. I don't believe they gonna do it. I believe that they are incapable. I ain't got no faith in them, man. You understand? You tell them I said it. Show them the video. Give them my number. You got my number. Call me. What I'm saying now, I can say it 2 times.
Sure.
I'm sick of this shit, man.
I understand.
I'm sitting here, man. I'm wounded, man.
Understood. Y'all put y'all seatbelts back on, because I'm about to give you some pushback. Now, we talked earlier about looking back. Now, if we constantly looking back, we don't see what's coming. Now, when I told you about those 3 deals that evaporated, I want you to understand that we had.
You put it on the city.
But now I'm gonna.
You put it on the city. The city.
Let me make my point. When I talk about deals that we had memorandums of understanding signed.
Yeah.
And they pulled back, and guess when they pulled back? When the mayor got on the television and started popping off at the gums. So when you sit here and say that we're inept, I want you to understand something. You don't get people offering you $22 million, $19 million, and $18 million within 2 years unless you got somebody that's about business. Now I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me out. When I tell you that we had everything ready to go, that we were ready to sign the documents. And then when you see people pull back, you got to understand that nobody wants to challenge City Hall. Nobody wants to run a foul. No, come on now. You know, in business, if you want to make money, you're not going to run afoul of City Hall because they can ruin all your contracts. They want to approve none of your permits. They won't do anything for you. So when I tell you that I know for a fact because I've seen this stuff, it's not just Morris Brown being inept. It takes more than ineptitude to blow $1 million deals like that. People have a plan for what's going on in Vine City. If Vine City can flood for nearly 20 years, and they build this damn stadium and they fix the sewer system all of a sudden, you got to know that they had a plan for this place. Vine City needed the park. They needed the park years ago, but now all of a sudden they're getting this world-class park because of this damn stadium. What I need you to, and every other alumni to hear me on is this. When you say that it's the board and the board is inept, you're talking about historical stuff. What's going on right now is some serious business. And when I tell you that we're putting stuff in place in conjunction with Tom Joyner working with us and other partnerships that we're forming, we are. There's nobody that's more passionate about Morris Brown than you and I. Nobody. But what I'm going to push back on is you can keep on looking back at what happened and not seeing what's coming. And it's not going to do any good because just like you said, every alumni needs to do something. And looking back ain't doing shit. It ain't doing nothing. We got to look forward. And once we tell you the plan and you see this plan, God damn it, I need for every Morris Brown alumni to get behind it.
Let's get to work.
That's what we need.
Listen,
All right, I love y'all now. Y'all know I don't cuss
Listen,
on my show, but
listen.
damn it.
Morris
Woo.
Brown College, first 100 years.
Yes, sir.
Page 33. It has been mentioned that Morris Brown College was begun on the foundation of self-help. This determination to lift oneself by his own bootstraps, coupled with a faith not faltering or hesitating because of fear or discouragement, and a strong belief in the power of prayer, made it possible for Morris Brown to overcome the dangers, toils, and snares of a perilous period in its history. Last thing, Morris Brown College grew out of the efforts of Negro people to help themselves, even though the growth of the institution has been such that outside help has become needed and advisedly acceptable in later years. It only emphasized the value of self-help, which brought the school into being, man. Man, I'm fucking hurt.
Understood.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. And I'm hurt by what I just heard about this school. But let me say this here to you. You got my number.
Absolutely.
And whatever you need me to do, phone call to make or whatever, I'm down. You understand?
Absolutely.
And we have to look in your right. And I'm glad you checked me how you checked me, because just because we really could only be in the 4th inning. This is a 9-inning game.
Absolutely.
See, this ain't no sprint. It's a marathon.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
So we got to come back on these.
Absolutely.
We got to come back. You keeping my word for me, man. I want to say.
I know what you're saying, but don't say it. Say everything else but that word.
We got to come back on them, man.
Absolutely.
And show them like, yo, we got to reestablish ourselves, man.
Absolutely. Let me do this.
Everything that we lost, we could get back and more if we get right, man.
No, we are going to get it back.
We got to stop bullshitting, man.
Hey, I'm with you. 478-569-6474. Give us a call if you got a question. 478-569-6474. Let's read some of these comments. Here we go. Trinette says, my dad said it back in 1991 when we first moved here. This deal was in place way back then. It's prime real estate and money. The city of Atlanta knew then, like way back then, this ain't new. They want this property. They want to do something with this property other than it be Morris Brown or Clark. They don't even want Clark Atlanta to have it. They want to be in control of everything that happens with that property right in front of that billion-dollar stadium. Tina says, true. Looking forward is good. Understand how you got there so you don't have to go backwards again. Very good. Call me, OD. Call me up. Crystal says NBC sits at the highest point in the city of Atlanta. Shanita says, Jeff, Sean, boy, my brothers love that NBC. About to make my sacrifice and my spring break allowance. That's hey, we can use it. Thank you so much, Shanita. OD says, Crystal, I'm talking about meeting with the new mayor. That's how politics work. Let's talk about that. Yes, we have reached out to the new mayor. This is before they became mayor. We reached out to all of the candidates to have meetings. Caesar Mitchell actually was on the board at Morris Brown College.
Who's Caesar Mitchell?
He was one of the candidates who ran for mayor. He was actually a favorite to win at one point. So, OD, you're absolutely right when you say that we have to have the power players, and Tina, I believe you said this as well, we have to have the meeting with them. Here is what I would submit to each one of you. Once we get in this better position, then they'll be more open to talking to us. What I believe right now is they're holding out, hoping that somehow we collapse. That's what they're holding out for. That's why they didn't want to make us a really, really good deal. That's why they scared everybody off, because had we gotten the money, it would ruin their plans. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to speak it into existence. I don't know what the hell kind of plans they got, but they're going to have to be modified because Morris Brown College just isn't going anywhere. It's just not going to happen. If you get a chance to just look inside the administration building to see how much better it looks now. It looks like a operating building with heat and cold air and a working roof. The yard, we don't have to do the cleanup committees anymore. The yard looks good. It looks like people are using these facilities, and there are other partnerships that we're working on. And just wait. This announcement is coming. Now, I believe we got a caller on the line. Thank you for calling. Let's talk about it live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Go ahead, caller. Give us your name.
Hey, Jeff. It's Olivia. How you doing?
Hey, Olivia. How you doing?
So my question was, has there been a meeting with the new mayor? But you mentioned that that hasn't been done, or that has been done.
The bishop actually held a rally with her before she was elected at Big Bethel. So he's already made the contacts with her, and I'm sure he'll be following up on those contacts as well.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's pretty much how politics work.
Absolutely.
You know, and I know Kasim was not in our favor. So hopefully with this new mayor and, you know, maybe the powers to be meet with her and, you know, let her know, look, you know, we have a lot of people, a lot of alumni in Atlanta that have contributed to the city of Atlanta. So why not,
for years,
you know, support Morris Brown and building it back up again?
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that those types of conversations are happening. The good thing that I'm saying and the good things that I'm seeing and that everybody will be seeing is that there's a point where you come to the table with something. For, you know, too many years, we weren't bringing much to the table. Oh, that's about to change. It's just about to change. And that's a good thing. And I'm looking forward to everybody seeing what's getting ready to happen at Morris Brown College.
Wow. Well, I hope so.
Me too.
I hope so.
Me too. But when I say hoping, I'm saying hopeful just to say it and kind of just get ready. You put your seatbelts on because Morris Brown College is going to be okay.
But you do understand that some of us feel a little, you know, we've heard this before. So, you know, we have to, you guys have to share some information with us so that we can feel like we're a part of the process.
Absolutely. And that's a point that Sean made. There's a point where you have to communicate things, and because of protocol, it has to happen a certain way. Oh, but it's definitely going to happen. And I want everybody to understand that this time around, we have experts helping, not just us going through the process by ourselves. We brought people in that this is all that they do. And so those things are making the changes that are coming much more effective. And Tom Joyner. Now, I'll tell you this. I was a little upset with Tom Joyner for a minute because I felt like he was talking about us because the deal he wanted to put in place, you know, fell through. But Tom Joyner is coming through like a champion.
Shout out to Tom
He's coming
Joyner.
through like a champion. He's everything they can do to promote Morris Brown, they are doing it and then some. We had to bring on additional staff just to make sure and bring some people back just to make sure that we met the obligations of what they're asking so that we can continue to promote Morris Brown. Morris Brown will be on CNN in a couple of weeks. There are all types of positive things that are getting ready to happen.
Man. This is what I need.
Positive things.
This is what I need, man.
I just need y'all to know that it's coming.
Jeff, this is what I need, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like I'm sitting here looking at you, talking to you.
Yes, sir.
I need the whole board to come set up a town hall meeting, all of them there.
Yes, sir.
All the alumni show up so we can look at y'all, look at your body language, look you in the eye, and ask the questions that we want to ask to you and get immediate feedback and let us know. And I think if y'all took that position,
yes, sir,
all of you, and we went away, the alumni went away, we looked at your body language, we listened to you, and we got the feeling like they bout it. I think we all would get behind y'all, man, and the vibration would raise, and I think everybody would get behind Morris Brown, the alumni, man, and do whatever they needed to do to get that school right, man. But stop chilling in the back, in the shadow. Man, step out front and say, yo, man, this is what it is. Let me talk to you. Talk to me. I'm a man. Talk to me.
Absolutely.
So you take that back to them, man.
We got you.
Yeah.
We got you. Now, Crystal brings up a great point. Crystal says, until alumni start giving in big numbers, we prolong the accreditation process. Our alumni giving is less than 15% right now, and that is true.
Money.
We need to double that.
Right.
If we doubled that, first of all, the base of the college right there is solved.
Right, but y'all got to come out with the plan. Show us the plan. Set up. How many people on the board?
I'm right there with you.
How many people on the board?
I think we have 20. No, less than 20. I think right at 20.
I want to see all 20 of y'all at the same time, same day, same place. You give us 3 months notice. Yo, the whole board is gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
All the alumni from around the world show up. We're gonna rap. We're gonna get this thing done. And I think if we heard from y'all,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had a document that we can see. This is what we got in the bank. Then we could believe you, man.
Fair enough. Now listen. Here is where you can go to support Morris Brown College right now. You can go to www.morrisbrown.edu, and there is a link there for you to make a contribution to Morris Brown College right now. www.morrisbrown.edu. You can do it right now. Now listen, Brother Sean and I did all this spontaneously, but you see our passion. One thing that you can tell about a person is when they're really, really passionate about something, the intensity goes up a notch. And I love seeing people get intense about Morris Brown College because it means more than anything else that they care about the college. That they care. They care about what's going on.
Jeff, let me say this.
Well, hold on one second, because we're almost out of time. What I can't stress enough, the things that are going to be going on with Morris Brown, the appearance on CNN, and once I get that date, I'll make sure I put that on the page as well. But the level of attention that Morris Brown is going to be getting in the next several months is going to go up, and it's going to be positive things. Now, as with the media, they will always inject the bad stuff.
Absolutely.
They're never going to not do that.
That's why we need to hear from the board.
I agree. And
face to face.
Part of putting the information out is exactly what you're saying. Meeting with your stakeholders and your constituents and talking to them. I agree with you 100%. So I don't mind taking that back and doing what I can to make that happen.
My son is 6 years old.
And he needs to go to Morris Brown College.
I want him to enroll in freshman orientation at Morris Brown, right?
Absolutely.
Now, he could have full scholarships to Harvard, to MIT, Yale, Oxford, University of Chicago, and say, Daddy, I got free scholarships to all these full rides, but you had to pay for me to go. You're going to Morris Brown first.
Absolutely.
Then we going to rap to them when you come out of Mo Brown. That's where I'm at with Morris Brown.
All right. Now, listen, folks, we are at the end of the show. Olivia, you still there with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
I want you to know when you come to town, let me know so we can have you on the show, okay?
Oh, okay.
What's up, Olivia?
Hold you to... Hey, how you doing?
Don't worry. I got your spot. You just let me know when you're coming on the show, and we'll make it happen, all right?
Okay. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you so much for calling. Listen, folks, we're at the end of the show, but first of all, I need everybody to hear me. Hear me just for a second. Black men, when we stand up and we stand up in power, we move things.
It's over with.
We move things.
Yeah.
We will transform a room just by walking in. What we have to do, though, is we have to show up. We have to show up expecting things to happen, not wishing for things to happen, but expecting things to happen. And when you do that, you are holding your destiny in your hand. You're actually manifesting your own destiny. So I'd like to thank you, Brother Sean, for coming on and sharing your story. You said you talked about what you lost, but I can see in your eyes that that's just where you were. Your better days are coming. Your better days are coming. So I want to thank you for coming on. Tell people where they can reach you, where they can get your book, how they can contact you.
Yo, Jeff, thank you for having me on your show, man.
Yes,
you got a tremendous show, and I'm proud of you, kid.
Yes, sir.
Amazon.com, Stigmatism in My Soul, Volume 1 and Volume 2 is out there. YouTube, Stigmatism in My Soul, and that's it, man.
All right. Good deal. Good deal.
Jeffrey Miller, let's talk about it live.
All right. Now, we do this every Saturday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. right here on Instinct Radio. You can follow us on Twitter, Instinct_Radio, Instagram, Instinct Radio, Facebook, Instinct Radio Station, Periscope, Instinct_Radio. The email is instinctradiolive@gmail.com. I am Talk with Jeffrey, Jeffery, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere except for Twitter. Twitter, I am Nigel's Pop, NIGELSPOP on Twitter. This has been a great show.
Awesome.
I told you it was going to be raw. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But we're
Yo,
at
can I ring the bell, kid?
Only I get to ring the bell. But we are at the
bell ring,
you
man.
cannot ring.
Stigmatism in My Soul, bell ring.
You can't ring my bell though. We are at the end of the show. We are at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And I am out.
Peace.
In the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.